welcome to Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. Today, I am super excited to be talking to Coach Nick. What's up, Nick?
Nothing much. I love your energy, and I love that whole like turn it up. I just imagine like a kindness sort of a radio that's just like someone's just like cranking it up, which is really cool.
Exactly. Hey, that's the goal.
Love it. I love it. I love what you're about.
I'm going to read a little bit about you, and then we're going to dive in and talk about everything.
Sounds good. I'm ready to talk about everything.
Okay, cool. It says, Coach Nick teaches a life of freedom. As one of the most captivating trainers to hit the stage, Coach Nick is a dynamic energy that is highly sought after resource for coaches and healers around the world who are looking to have a greater impact, grow their missions, and create a lifestyle for themselves all at the same time. As a skillful storyteller, he weaves ancient and modern wisdom into practical lessons that can be used to create immediate results. His work and message has landed him on major newspapers, radio, and TV broadcasts, plus hundreds of life and business podcasts. So welcome, Nick.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
No problem. So tell us exactly what you do.
Yeah, sure. So my main gig is mainly working with coaches and healers to help them generate sales so they can become freedompreneurs. And basically freedompreneurs are people who are, well, you're a freedompreneur, right? Anybody who is going out there and who is taking their mission, what they feel called to do.
Yeah.
And they're creating a career out of it. And that's where I come into play. So I help people take your passion and your gift to the world and learn how to make an income, because, that's just the practical necessity of today, right? Is that, I want to change the world, and I also got to pay my bills. And, I got maybe kids I got to put through college. And, we have the sort of practical, what I'll just call like the human life, right? And we've got this whole spiritual like sort of side that's like, I want to serve and grow and expand, and I want to do some awesome stuff here on the planet. And so I help people marry those two worlds so that they don't sacrifice one or the other, but they learn to marry them and work with them both in a beautiful way.
I love that. And that is the conundrum, right? Wanting to go out there and live your truth, but then you have 30 bills waiting for you as well. So how do you live your truth?
Totally. Yeah. I'm living my truth after the 9 to 5, sort of say, right?
Exactly. I was just liberated, and I say liberated from my 9 to 5 from last May, right?
Yeah.
But initially I was bummed, right? Like, how am I going to survive? How am I going to pay those 30 bills, right? And so that took me a few months before I just let it go and was like, you know what? It will work out.
Right. Yeah.
So that's beautiful that you're teaching people how to do that.
Yeah, and it is scary, like I don't want to diminish that. It is scary. We're if you've been working a job, for instance, and you've been used to a paycheck coming every 2 weeks, deposited into your account, it's very you become reliant on that. It becomes a sense of security, a sense of normality.
Yeah.
And to jump into the world of entrepreneurship where, this Friday might not necessarily mean payday, right? It might be, right, there's this kind of sense of uncertainty that comes with it. But truthfully, why so many people don't feel free in their life is because they value safety way too much.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah, and that's actually, as long as you value, if safety is your biggest concern of life, whether you're conscious of it and most people are unconscious of it, freedom cannot be there. Because if you think about what freedom is literally not knowing. Like freedom is a space where I can choose what I'm going to do. And when people can choose what they're going to do, it's actually scary because most of us don't trust ourselves enough to choose to do or engage into the things that we know will eventually get us the result. So why I love the entrepreneurial path more than than any sort of external reason that we may like it.
Yeah.
I really believe the entrepreneurial path is a personal development path. I believe it's a path that of improvement, self-improvement, and the real beauty, the real riches of entrepreneurship is who you become in the process while you're creating whatever external results you may be wanting to create.
Yeah, and that's the message right there. It's the journey of the becoming.
That's right.
Of who are you going to truly be in this world? The safety net is what it is, safe. Because like you said, you get that. And I wasn't bummed for losing the job. I was bummed for losing the safety net, because then it was like, what do I do now? You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's what most people stay in jobs or stay in lifestyles that they don't like. Some people are spending their entire day doing something that they don't like, and they go, well, why don't you leave? Well, I got a good pension, or I got a good, I get health benefits here, or, this whatever, I get a good paycheck here, or it's fine, I can deal with it. But the spirit is looking to, live, let me live, right? Let me live, let me experience, let me, and for myself, I think, geez, at the end of the day, when I say the end of the day, what I'm really meaning is like the end of the day, like the life, right? Like when I'm in that final hour, right? Am I going to go, oh, I'm so happy I played it safe. I'm really happy that I didn't do the things I wanted to do because I chose to play it safe. And I know for myself, I will, with whatever little strength I may have, I'll kick myself and say, there was a great speaker. He said, I was listening to him, and he said, everybody's going to have pain in their life. Like, you're not going to avoid pain in this life. So don't try to live so safe, because what you're trying to do is avoid pain. Right. And he's like, everyone's going to have pain. So the quicker that you can accept that pain and some discomfort and some uncertainty is part of life, the better you'll do. And then he went on to say, everybody will experience pain. You'll either experience the pain of sacrifice or the pain of regret. You choose.
Oh, I love that.
And I remember listening to him and going, I will experience the pain of sacrifice, because I truly believe that the pain of regret is worse. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, there's really, and that's true, because pain will come. It doesn't matter if you're the richest of the rich, the poorest of the poor.
Pain is there.
The smartest of the smart. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
And so how do you get the people that you come in contact with to walk through that, knowing that it's going to get better?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the first thing I'll say is we become like who we associate with.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Snaps on that.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. So if you're thinking, like, let's say you're working in a 9-to-5 and you want to move to your own thing. You've got an idea, something that you want to bring to the world. Well, the first thing is start to associate with people who are already walking that path. Mm-hmm. Now, here's why. You see, just because you associate with someone doesn't mean like you just take on everything that they do or who they are. But if you look at your association, you'll see that subtly your association nudges you in their direction. It's kind of like being caught in a current. So what you want to do is consciously put yourself in a current that is headed to where you want to go. And the other thing now, some people think, oh, Nick, I don't have that around me, or right? Like, how do I associate with, I don't know any successful entrepreneurs, or I don't really know that many kind people, or I don't really know people that are living joyfully. Well, you do, because you're watching the show right now, right? So association means to listen to. So when I first started on that journey, now I'm really blessed. I've got really supportive parents, and not everybody's got that. So I know I'm blessed in that way. But I also know a lot of people who didn't have that, who don't have that. And what they do, and they became super successful and super joyful, and everything was available to them. So association means, who do you listen to? So the first place is, we live in a world right now where most of us have this device here.
Right.
And this device within milliseconds can have you listening to people like yourself, motivational people, inspirational people, entrepreneurs, success. I mean, it's all available for us now. We have books, webinars, seminars, training events. These are the places you go to. You know, I tell people, look, if you wanted to be a lawyer, wouldn't it make sense that you go to law school and that you study under a lawyer until you get it, and then you open up your own practice? And everybody says, yeah, that makes sense. I said, so why wouldn't you think it? Why wouldn't that make sense then for being happy? Why wouldn't that make sense for being a freedompreneur or being an entrepreneur?
Right.
It's no different. But for some reason, we see it in one context, but then when we put it in another context, we don't see it. And we're like, oh, I don't know, I don't know about that. It's like, no, that's exactly what it is. When you take to a mentor or a teacher, you associate with them, meaning you listen to them, then ultimately you get to, you pick up their energy, you pick up their mindset.
Yeah.
You also take on their experience, which cuts the learning curve in half at minimum for you.
I agree with that. And it's so readily available if you decide to go for it, right? Like,
totally.
There is no excuse. I mean, you can make as many excuses as you like. However, it's available. You just have to go out and want to get it, the information.
You have to make it a priority.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing. People are waiting for tomorrow. Lord Buddha said the problem is you think you have time, right? Meaning everybody's waiting, well, tomorrow, or when the kids grow up, or when the stars align, and when whatever, when there's a new president, when there's a new government, when there's this, when there's that, and none of that is actually really determining your level of joy, happiness, or success. I'm not saying that they don't have some influence, but the amount of impact or influence they have on you is up to you.
Right.
So if you allow the powers to be to determine your life, you will always feel trapped. You will never feel free. But the moment you take 100% responsibility and you stop distracting yourself with TV and too much alcohol and too much Netflix and too much nonsense on YouTube, and you start engaging yourself in things that actually better yourself, your entire life is going to begin to transform. And the other thing is, be compassionate and have long-term vision. You've spent a lifetime developing the lifestyle you have today. So what makes you think that after a 1 month or 3 weeks of watching a motivational speaker, it's all going to be different? But that's what people do, right? They go to the seminar or the webinar, or they watch the video once and they get all pumped up and then go, okay, this is it. And then within 72 hours, they're back to normal, back to wherever they're at. And they're like, oh, those things don't work. No. Does the gym not work? The gym works if you work out at the gym.
And it's going to take time.
It's a new lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's not a diet. This is why I'm not a big fan of things like diets and these sort of big overhyped marketing that's like, come to my seminar and become a millionaire in 3 days.
Right. Yes. There's so many of those.
There's so many, because they're playing on your love of ease. Yeah. They're playing on your inherent love that you want things to be easy. But in my experience, things are simple but not easy. And don't make the distinction, excuse me. Things are simple. Being an entrepreneur is simple. Living a life of freedom is simple. Is it easy? No. That's why you want to get around people who are doing it, and community, so that they can help and support you and cheerlead you through the tough times. And accept there's going to be some pain. Don't try to avoid pain. Go through the pain. If you try to avoid the pain, that's why people don't go to the gym. Everybody wants the beach body, you know? Everybody's like, oh yeah, this is the year, right? Everybody wants the beach body, but very few are willing to go through the pain of the gym.
Right.
Everybody wants to be rich. Very few people are willing to go through the pain of building a business to allow them. Everybody wants enlightenment. Very few people are willing to pray and stick out the, you know, and stick it out. You see, everything in life, anything in life that's worth it, there will be a sacrifice that you are willing to pay to get it.
Oh,
and if you are not willing to sacrifice, then whatever you have is generally whatever your life is going to be.
Wow, you are dropping nuggets left and right. I mean, where you just dropping them, okay? That is so true. Like, if you are not willing to rise up to the occasion, then it's going to be what it is, right? Whatever it is right now is what it's going to be until you decide to make that choice.
We call it, you don't have to be a psychic or some mystic to tell somebody's almost improbable future. So it's not set in stone, but I can look at anybody and I can tell you their almost improbable future. And not because you have to be a psychic or a yogi or some mystic, just because of stats, numbers, we can just know, right?
Right.
When you look at someone, their almost improbable future is whatever they're living right now. Because for most people, they will never sacrifice enough to make the big difference in their life. And sacrifice doesn't come in the big decisions. It comes in the small decisions. Here's the small decisions. Do I eat the apple or the cake?
Right. It's simple as that. As small and as simple as that.
Your life is nothing more than a series of decisions made in every given moment. Every decision you make either leads you towards the life you want to go to, or it keeps you in the cycle or the loop of the life that you're already living.
Right.
So here's how most people, again, I like to use the gym as an analogy because I find it very tangible, right? And, you know, most people can relate, right? You know, in that sense, right? So you go to the gym, you know, you're like, that's it. I'm doing it. You start to eat, you start the eating healthy plan. That's right. I'm doing it. This is it. Enough is enough. I'm doing it.
Right.
And then you start the healthy eating plan and you start the gym routine or the yoga routine or whatever you're doing. And then, you know, a week or two goes by and then you have this little voice that says to you, oh, well, I'm just going to reward myself. You know, I've been really good. So I'm going to reward myself and I'm going to binge eat. And because you binge eat today, the next day you feel like crap, so you don't end up going to the gym. And then that translates to the second day and the third day. And by the time the fourth day comes, you're like, you know what? I'm happy with who I am.
Right. I love me for me.
I love me. Yeah. It's I love myself. Right. And then you what I call new age escapism, which is this whole self-love thing, totally misconstrued as like, just do whatever you want because you love it. No, I'm sorry. Discipline is your path to freedom. And that's a scary word. And it's not something that you're going to develop overnight if you don't have it. I know I didn't.
Right.
It is something that you're going to have to work on. It's like a muscle. And how do you grow a muscle? You have to be willing to go through it. But then there'll be a point where you're so strong, that muscle is so built up that it becomes your new pleasure.
I love that.
It becomes pleasurable for you. You know, people who've been going to the gym for a long time, the gym is pleasurable for them.
Yeah, therapeutic.
Right? Yeah, they love it. It's their cake.
Right.
And that's what we have to do. We have to train ourselves enough till the positive habit becomes our new pleasure point. Our spiritual master at the Hare Krishna order would say, what starts off sweet turns to poison, and what starts off as poison turns to sweetness. So he would say, like, so we practice mantra meditation. So this particular type of meditation, it's like poison at the beginning because it's horrible. You got to sit there and chant, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is boring, and oh gosh, like just enough, right?
Right.
But once you go for it long enough, that same poison turns to sweetness because now you have willpower and self-control and discipline turns into making good decisions and being kind and being joyful. So it turns into your pleasure. On the other hand, what is pleasurable turns into poison. So the cake is pleasurable immediately, but you eat the cake long enough, then you wind up in front. Then you look in the mirror one day and you're not happy.
Right.
Or you wind up in the doctor's office or in the hospital, and then you go, how did I get here? Well, it wasn't that one decision. It wasn't the one time you ate the cake. It was every day when you decided to neglect your health that led up. And that's what we got to know, is that our life is a sum total of our daily decisions.
Yes.
So it's not in the big decisions our life is made. It's in the small decisions. And then in the big decisions, you know, they're fun, you know?
Yeah.
Do I take the trip or not? Take the trip.
Take the trip.
Take the trip. Have the cake once in a while. Once in a while is not once a day. Oh, I'm doing it once in a while every day. No, once in a while, once a month, at the special occasion, at the birthday party. You don't need, everybody here is an adult. You don't need somebody to parent you and tell you what once in a while is. You have an inner guidance system that's telling you. Listen to it. It won't lead you astray, I promise.
All right, I love that. Your life is made in the small decisions.
Yes.
And you make those small decisions every single day. Every day. And you are where you are right now because of the small decisions that you've made over the course of your life. So if you don't like where you are, change.
Change the small decisions.
Make the different decisions.
That's right. You start making new decisions, which actually will take some kind of discipline or willpower at first. And again, accept that it'll be painful at first, meaning accept that, you might feel weird. It might be uncomfortable. It might be downright painful, right? Yeah. But accept it, because what is more painful is when you're dissatisfied with your life. And you've kind of fell into inertia, when you just become like stagnant. Yeah. The thing that's killing our lives right now, and I think it's killing our kindness and our joy and is inertia. We're just stagnant. The more technology is advanced, the more we have become more like a stagnant population. Right. We're not moving. So when someone says, Nick, what can I do to start getting my joy up, become kinder, living more happily, and then talk about the goals of, what you want to create in the world, the first thing I say to them is get active. Yeah. Begin to live an active lifestyle. And you know what's one of the best activities? Walking. Walking is natural. Your body is meant to trek. Your body's not meant to sit in a car all day and drive around or sit on the Netflix or TV. Your body is meant to move. And so if you're just really like wanting to just feel better, get moving, start walking, daily walk, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, 5 minutes if you're just starting. And if you just pick up the simple habit of walking, you give it 1 year, you commit to 1 year of walking every day, I promise you'll be a more kind, happier, and joyful person in the year.
I love that. Nick, I could talk to you forever. You have been dropping nuggets on us all day. I appreciate you. I love exactly what you said. It's in the small things. It's getting active. It's making the decision to do better and then actually going out there and doing it. And so I appreciate you and everything that you're doing in the world. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you and your message and what you're bringing to the world as well. So thank you.
No problem. So please put your links and stuff in the comments so that people can find you. But Coach Nick is here to offer you some truths and to help you find the life that you were meant to live and to be a freedompreneur. So let's do this, people. It is possible to turn up the volume and make Kind loud and to make your life better if you just make better decisions in the small situations. So from my heart to yours, I appreciate you. Thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys next week on another episode of Make Kind Loud, conversations that turn up the volume. Have a great day.